I will now read the text of the poem Ice and Fire by Edmund Spenser. My beloved one is like to ice, and I to fire. Why is it then that this her cold so great is not dissolved through my so hot desire, but harder grows the more I her entreat? Or why is it that my exceeding heat is not dampened by her heart frozen cold? Instead, I burn much more in boiling sweat, and feel my flames augmented manifold. What more miraculous thing may be told than that fire which all things melts should harden ice, and ice which is concealed by senseless cold should kindle fire by wonder causing device? Such is the power of love in gentle mind, that it can alter all the course of kind. Good morning. Continuing from yesterday's lecture on the poem Ice and Fire by Edmund Spenser. Yesterday we looked at the summary of the poem. Today we'll take the poem line-wise in detail. Starting at line 1, I quote, "My love is like to ice and I to fire. How comes it then that this her cold so great is not dissolved through my so hot desire, but harder grows the more I her entreat?" In the first 4 lines or quatrain of this piece, the speaker, who is known to be Spenser himself, begins with the statement that would come to represent this poem. Although it is numbered as Amoretti number 30, the phrase, and I quote, "My love is like to ice and I to fire," is to us distinguish it from his other works. In this line, the speaker is saying that his love is comparable to ice. In contrast, he states that he is the same as fire. Before any other details are provided, a reader is able to understand that the two lovers are fundamentally different people. That has not stopped them from coming together though. In the next 3 lines, Spenser poses the first of his questions regarding how the love he shares with his future wife is possible. Due to the fact that they are so completely opposite, he continues the analogy he began in the first line. The speaker asks how his love's cold so great, quote unquote, is not, quote, dissolved through, unquote, his, quote, so hot desire, unquote. This strange rearrangement of words makes the lines sound more dramatic than they would otherwise be. It also forces the phrases to conform to Spenser's chosen pattern of iambic pentameter. The love they share does not dissolve away like fire melting ice, but instead the harder grows. With greater time spent alongside one another, their love only improves. The speaker is continually baffled by this fact. Although these lines are posed as a question, it is rhetorical. He does not expect the reader to have an answer. Lines 5 to 8. Quote, "Or how comes it that my exceeding heat is not allayed by her heart frozen cold, but that I burn in much more boiling sweat, and feel my flames augmented manifold, unquote. In the next quatrain, which contains the second question of the text, the speaker's comparison of himself to fire and his lover to ice is continued. Here he turns the previous question around and asks how his own impact on his lover does not destroy their love. The speaker's own heat is not impacted on his lover and does not destroy their love. The speaker's own heat is not impacted by her heart frozen cold. It is important to note at this point that the comparison to fire and ice might have more to do with their actual personalities than it initially seemed. This is seen through the woman's heart being referred to as frozen. Perhaps this is how Spenser first saw her. He expected this fact to turn him away. Instead, it made him burn much more. These lines also say something about Spenser's love for his wife. It seems to be uncontainable and as if it is being consistently fanned. The final line brings the section around to the actual question. He asks how it is possible that her coldness only makes his flames increase in number. They are manifold. Lines 9 to 12. I quote, "What more miraculous thing may be told, that fire which all things melts should harden ice, and ice which is congealed with senseless cold should kindle fire by wonderful device." In the final 4 lines, the speaker takes note of the importance of his love. He believes that his relationship is so unusual and original that it verges on miraculous. He begins by reiterating the lines he used previously. Spenser wants to make sure that his reader is clear on why he or she should care about their love. He states again that fire which all things melts has instead hardened ice, then that ice which is made up of senseless cold has rekindled fire. These changes to their natures have improved them as people. Together, they are becoming different. Coming to the last couplet, I quote, "Such is the power of love in gentle mind, that it can alter all the course of kind." The final couplet works as all of Spenser's conclusions do. It could serve as an answer to a question or as a carrier of a different opinion. Here, though, the speaker concludes that the answer to all the previously posed questions is that love has the power to change everything. When it exists within a gentle mind, it has the ability to alter everyone's life.